Hi, I'm Mike Tove with AIN Services, a financial planning firm.
And I'm Bill Alexander with W.G. Alexander & Associates. We're a law firm that focuses on estate planning, asset protection, and elder law.
And welcome to Money Secrets with Bill and Mike. So you know what we're going to talk about today, Bill?
Well, I know that folks out in the communities have strong opinions about.
Right, annuities.
Absolutely.
And,
the good and the bad.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
There you go.
And but the key is that you can't categorize an entire category of products based on innuendo or hearsay or anything like that.
Well, I'm really glad that we're going to talk about this because it's a really important financial decision for so many folks.
Yes. So stay tuned and we will come right back and we're going to talk about them. And welcome back. So I guess the thing we've got to talk about is what in the world are these? People are afraid of a word.
Well, I think it's really important for folks to understand that there's not just one kind of annuity. There are a number of different kinds of annuities. So, Mike, let's help folks know the difference among the different kinds of annuities.
So first off, there are things called variable annuities, and that has nothing to do with how the growth occurs. It means that they're actually stock market investments. Variable annuities are registered as securities, and they are managed as such.
Well, I would just point out that particular kind of annuity does in fact have market risk.
Yes.
It's not my favorite kind of annuity. In fact, it's one that I try to stay away from myself, but they have their place.
There are times when they work, and to be candid, I own variable annuities. But specifically for the right purpose. And then there are fixed annuities, and the word fixed has nothing to do with interest. It has to do with the fact that they are insurance-based products. They're not securities.
Well, with fixed annuities, those are designed to pay out monthly, like a monthly income stream.
In old school, yes, but today it's a
I'm
little
old
different.
School.
Okay, well, you're old school. But even within that, there are several kinds. So first of all, there are immediate, which is basically a pension.
True.
And then you have fixed rate, sometimes called CD annuities, which is you get a stated amount of interest for a certain period of years, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever. And then there are index annuities.
Well, let me go back to fixed, because at least from my perspective, that old school perspective, there's most of those don't make much income. They're safe, but the investment inside them is generally pretty low, more like a CD for most folks. And now they have their place, and I use those in our practice.
That's what we call but that's what we call MIGAs, multi-year guarantee annuities, and it's one category of them.
Okay. Well, I just want folks to know that for, at least for me, these annuities have a place, particularly when a family is applying for Medicaid or VA benefits. These annuities actually can be Medicaid qualified or VA qualified annuities, and can be used particularly with retirement accounts where that money would be countable outside of this kind of annuity, but it's a non-countable asset inside this kind of annuity. So these annuities can be used for that purpose and for other purposes as well. But that's where I would typically use that kind of annuity.
What's interesting is that the different kinds, whether it's fixed, whether it's variable, whether it's an immediate, whether it's a deferred, meaning you grow it for a period of time before you turn the income on. And in fact, most annuities today do not require old school annuitization at all. Most of them do not require you to turn on an income stream to get the money out of it. That's more the way it used to be 20, 30 years ago.
The annuities had an accumulation period in which typically you got a good deal, but you weren't getting your money back. This is where the insurance company had your money.
Yes.
And basically when you wanted your money back, you annuitized.
Correct. And there have been a number of criticisms of that schedule, And to be fair, there are times when it makes sense, but at the same token, if that is your only option, if it's your only choice, then you are very limited. But that doesn't exist.
Well, we haven't
in the
talked
modern
about,
day.
from my perspective, the most important kind of annuities as it relates to many folks out there.
Which for you are?
Fixed, indexed annuities.
Okay.
I
So-
think they have a place for a lot of folks.
Well, I would agree with that, certainly. And within that, and we're going to spend a little bit more time talking about that in a minute, but I think that the key is understanding that each one of these categories, or subcategories, if you will, of this broad thing, fulfills very specific purposes.
Sure.
And it's important to know what it is you're trying to accomplish with any financial account before you go that route.
No
Let's
question
do
about it.
this. Let's take a quick break. Let's go out onto the street, see what people think. We'll come right back and go from there. Please stay tuned.
Do you think you could define for me annuities?
I have absolutely no idea what that is.
I could not.
Securities. That
What are annuities?
accumulate finances over a year.
That has to do with savings and retirement and looking for your future.
Annuities are investments that give a return over an extended period of time, like certain insurance funds and such.
And welcome back. So it's common that people have negative impressions about them, and
It
you know,
is.
and it's funny. The reason is it's about competition. The people that hate them the most are the ones that can't sell them.
Well,
So-
actually, my issue with so many annuities is that there's so many people out there selling them, and they're just trying to sell a particular product to everybody, and that's a terrible way to do it.
But let's back up, because I think the first thing that's important to understand is that annuities are around us. The biggest annuity in this country is Social Security.
Absolutely, and I don't know of anybody that doesn't like Social
well,
Security, particularly when
well,
you reach,
well, you got-
66
you've
years
got-
of age.
Yeah, well, you've got Social Security is the biggest annuity. Corporate pensions are the second biggest annuity.
Oh man, are
And-
they? Well, not just corporate pensions. You
or
have
any
state
kind of a
pensions, like people
And-
who work for
and
the
when
North
you look
Carolina
at your
government.
1040 form, when you look at your actual tax return, that line actually says pensions and annuities. I mean,
Absolutely, sure
even the
does.
IRS recognizes it that way.
Well,
And-
the bottom line is that those are in fact annuities, and people don't realize how important annuities can be.
But you know how
to
old they
present
are?
day.
They've been around since the days of the Roman Empire. They were used by the Roman Empire to pay for their soldiers. In 1720, the Presbyterian Church used them to provide retirement.
And we
for-
still do. I'm an old Presbyterian. I can tell
For
you that
clergy.
we do that for our pastors and church workers.
See, they're not. Benjamin Franklin left annuities to the cities of Boston and Philadelphia, and Boston was receiving payments off of theirs for over 200 years until the 1990s, when they finally decided to cash the thing out.
Well, I appreciate that.
So,
Well,
they
the
have-
bottom line is annuities can be very powerful investments for the right person.
Correct. And so the key really is what function do they have? And this is really kind of where it all comes down.
Well, you know, one of the things, Mike, that draws people into annuities, particular seniors, and of course seniors have a real big place in my heart because I represent
Right.
seniors every day, is they're looking for a safe place to invest where they don't have to take market risk.
And this is where the separation of the different kinds comes into place.
Absolutely.
Variable annuities actually have risk. And to be fair, even
Well,
some of them
not-
that have secondary guarantees, that's only for annuitization, which
Right.
is not being done so much anymore.
Well, all investment have risk, but variable annuities have market risk.
Correct.
That basically means risk in the stock market.
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of seniors are trying to stay away from.
And they actually are the ones that have the fees. And the fee structure is there because the insurance company does not have access to the money for their own purposes. And so there has to be a fee structure for them to make anything.
Well, from my perspective, variable annuities are primarily for sophisticated investors. And of course, you said you have them, but you're a
Okay.
sophisticated
But
investor.
they're also for people who are young, that there is an advantage because if non-IRA money, non-IRA money, absolutely for variable annuities, not qualified. But if you are, let's say for example, a self-employed person and you are looking for a place to put money every single month, every single year, year after year after year as a pension and get the benefit of tax deferral, that's where a variable annuity can work. And then you're using it to guarantee lifetime to you in retirement.
I don't disagree with that, but again,
But-
I think even for a young person, they really need to understand
Sure.
how the market works and how it affects
Oh,
their
I agree with
investment. And to the degree that we have mentioned fixed indexed annuities, that might be a better place for many of those
And
folks.
the only caveat with the index annuities for that purpose is that they are, with rare exception, a one-time deposit. You
Right.
have single premium.
And of course,
But
with the variable, you can add
You
to
can
it
add
each
to it.
payday if you
Right.
want. Right.
But let's go to where an index annuity works, because for me, index annuities are perfectly well suited for folks that have spent a lifetime accumulating money and now they want to preserve and protect what they have accumulated so that the next time the markets go blam down like that, which we have actually been predicting, that they're safe, that they're protected,
Well,
but
they're
that they
protected
don't
from
give up.
that downside market risk.
Right, but
Right.
then here comes the catch. And the catch is that a lot of them also protect you from upside potential because they come in and they do something called cap the growth.
Right. Now, an index, of course, it means the investment is based on some kind of index,
Right.
like the S&P 500 or the Dow, or there are other indexes,
Right.
but the bottom line is it's based
So
on that.
I want to take a short break and then let's come back and talk just a little bit more detail about the difference between good index annuities and other index
And
annuities.
it's important for you to come back because this discussion means something really important
Right.
to you.
So stay tuned.
And what does anything in particular come to mind when I say annuities?
Something financial?
If there was anything about annuities specifically you would like to ask a financial advisor right now, what would it be?
Which ones are grossing the most right now, currently?
Okay.
Hey, welcome back. So, the big question, of course, is if there was a place where you could put money and get good growth without being exposed to
The market risk.
market risk, would that be something that everybody would want?
Of course.
And of course everybody wants that. And the funny thing is that as much as people say, oh, I hate annuities, the only place you can get that combination is in annuities, specifically fixed index annuities with a caveat, and that is the ones that have no growth caps on them, which is a minority.
Well, it's important for folks to understand what a cap is because caps are actually in most fixed indexed
Right.
annuities, and those are the ones that we're saying that stunts your growth.
Well,
and that's not a good thing.
It's not. But back in the good old days, and I remember one of these products going back in the 1990s that was offering full upside potential with a 15% growth cap in a given year, and nobody would be upset about that. But
Well-
the caps today are way down,
Well-
3, 3.25, 3.5.
Absolutely, but it's important for folks to understand that with an indexed annuity, that they're picking an index, and an index means something like the S&P 500 or the Dow,
Right.
or the Russell 2000 or another index.
Right, except the catch-22 is that static indexes like those tend to go along with caps.
Well, what you and I
And-
both know is that there are some indexes out there that are actually much better
Correct.
than those indexes.
And they have
that's-
actually been invented for these purposes.
Exactly.
And so, but here's the thing, and because everybody asks me, well, how come I've never heard of them?
Well, I want folks to know how a cap
Yeah.
works. And what that basically means is while the market might go up 10 or 15% for the year, because of how the cap is structured inside the annuity,
Right.
maybe a monthly cap or the like, but the bottom line is you might only get 3.5%, 4.5%, 5%, 6%
Well, if you're
max,
lucky, 5
if
or
you're
6.
lucky.
It's 3.25, 3.5 is where they are today.
And what we're basically saying is that's not the kind of product you want.
No.
You want one that's uncapped.
You want one that has no upside ceiling or limitation.
Right.
I
But
use
you're
the,
protected on the downside.
Right. Well, I use the following analogy. It's like this. It's like you come into a room, and if the ceiling of the room is 3.5 feet tall, you walk into that room and you're feeling pretty claustrophobic.
Well, I agree. But here's the thing. Mike, tell folks why they may not have heard of these products that we're talking about.
The reason they haven't is because the banks don't have access to them and the brokerage firms don't have access to them. And it's just simply because the carriers that have put them together are not offering them to banks and to brokerage firms. And there are a number of reasons for this, and it's beyond discussion here, but the bottom line is that's just the way it is.
So you can't get these everywhere.
You can't get them everywhere, and it's actually a deliberate thing because they're being very selective as to who does have access to them.
Well, you and I both have access
Yes.
to them, and there are a lot of other folks who do, but
We had to earn the right.
That's right.
And
Yeah.
so you don't get them from your bank, you don't get them from your brokerage firm, but that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Right.
And the key is that first of all, no annuity, no product is right for every person, nor right for any person's every dollar.
Well, and there
you
are
just don't go that
families
way.
that have to worry about any kind of annuity because of issues that deal with government assistance. If they
Right.
don't have enough liquidity to pay for their care, particularly
Right.
long-term care, and that's an issue that families need to at least be aware of. And most financial advisors, you're the rare breed,
Well,
most financial advisors are not aware of those issues.
Right. But then the question is, and the good ones actually do have what's called Medicaid qualification. Now,
Well, they have riders that can go along with them.
well,
which
with
helps,
that, but
which
there's
helps a lot.
they will have the opportunity to convert the payment stream into one that
Right.
is qualified within the guidelines of Medicaid
Right.
qualification.
And
that
that's-
doesn't always help either because of
And
the
that's
laws,
right. But there are very few advisors who really understand where these things can actually help you a great deal or actually may not.
Right.
And that's why people sometimes do have negative feelings about annuities, because they've seen the
Well-
horror stories.
Well, they've seen the horror stories, but the problem is that the horror stories are being perpetuated by the competitors. Fundamentally, the people who can't sell them are the ones that are out there running around saying the most nasty things about them. I actually did a couple of years ago, I did a survey on this, and as it turns out, 89% of the people who hate annuities can't sell them, and the other 11% were the news media quoting the 89.
Well, the bottom line is there are many annuities that are not appropriate investment for many people, but there are some good ones out there that
Yes.
folks should be able to consider. But it goes back to having an advisor that will give you good
So-
advice based on your particular situation.
Well, let's take a short break and come right back with our money secret. Stay tuned. Hey, and welcome back.
Well,
So-
Mike, what's our money secret?
Well, I think the money secret is very simple. It's that index annuities are worth considering. Just make sure of who you're talking to, that you're getting balanced and fair advice.
Make sure you don't have caps.
and
you know.
and then stay away from caps.
Right.
So, but this is something that we can definitely help with. At any event, so that's for this week. Please tune in next week for the next episode of Money Secrets with Bill and Mike.
We'll be back with another money secret.
We'll be back with another Money Secret, and thanks for watching.
You've been watching Bill and Mike with Money Secrets. Bill Alexander is an attorney with W.G. Alexander and Associates in Raleigh. They focus on estate planning, asset protection, and elder law. Find them at wgalaw.com. You can catch Bill on the radio on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. with Asset Protection Today on WPTF 680 AM. And come join him on every second Wednesday of the month for a free seminar. Just call 919-256-7000 for more information. That's 919-256-7000. Mike Tove is a financial planner with AIN Services. They can be reached for all your planning needs at 1-800-363-2296 or online at ain-services.com. You can also join Mike Tove for seminars on how to take control of your retirement. Just call 1-800-363-2296 to find out when he will be in a city near you.
Would you like a copy of the new book, Money Secrets with Bill and Mike? Visit us at moneysecretstv.com. That's moneysecretstv.com.